I can say right now is woof. The Oilers get blown out 6-2 in Game 2 of this first-round series against the Los Angeles Kings. They go back home down 2-0 Friday night. Crucial against the LA Kings. My goodness, we have a lot to unpack tonight here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. Tom Gazzola, Hernan, Salas with you. Matt Cassian will be stopping by shortly. Dustin Nielsen comes up and he says, I have a few things to say about this game. So we're going to get to Dusty right away here, but we do need to remind everybody that GCL Diesel is a presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream pre- and post-game shows. Providers of the best diesel and engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps, and sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as well. I saw the nasty chat. It was going like people.
It's flying.
And then
it's flying.
In the text line already, people are like, please, Tommy, make more excuses for Stu Skinner. I'm not here to make excuses for Stu Skinner. He didn't get a big save when he needed a big save, but he also got hung out to dry again because this team defensively, Dustin Nielsen, is absolute
it's horseshit. No, I'll say it. I mean,
go ahead.
I'm not worried about saying it. It's horseshit right now.
Yeah.
Like, they're playing awful. Like, I don't care who's in net for this team. And it's got to be Pickard next game. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they're playing like garbage. Like, you're sitting there going in the third period going, man, if they can get a goal in the first 5 minutes, then it's on. Like, it's go time. And they get it.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, like, let's see what happens now. I think when they scored to go up 3-2, most people were like, okay, it's on.
Right.
And then Arvidsson bobbles the puck. It ends up in the corner, and they just both completely, like, what are you doing? Like, can you imagine if in that situation a Los Angeles King bobbles the puck and Leon Draisaitl is left wide open in the slot? Like, you need to have more defensive awareness as a group, and Skinner needs to be better, and Knoblock needs to be better.
Yeah.
Like, pull Skinner when they go down 3-0 just as a wake-up call.
Right.
Like, you've seen enough of him that you're like, okay, he's not going to steal the rest of the game for you. Instead, you pull him 2 minutes after he allows the fifth goal. You put your Game 3 starter into the game, and he gets torched immediately.
On the first shot.
Like, that might be the stupidest goaltending pull I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's
it
the most.
It makes
it's
no
the most.
sense.
It's the most useless goalie pull of all time.
You cannot tell me how that benefits the team, right, Hernan? Like, there's no way. Like, I couldn't believe it. I looked up. I was like, now you're pulling him? What are we doing here?
Tom,
it was
makes
dumb.
no sense.
Tom,
no sense.
Like Dusty says, like, it's just these guys are playing like it's game 47 of the damn regular season. No attention to detail. Jake Wallman was awful on the PK today. Can't hold his gas. Can't hold a player.
In general.
Just bad. When John Klingberg is one of the most notable guys on the positive side, you have issues. What's the problem with going nuclear? People are going to be like, yeah, but Arvidsson scored. Okay. How many chances outside of the top line, guys, had good grade A chances?
There's maybe 3.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins looks like he should retire. Like, honestly, like, what? Like, I cannot tell you a single positive thing he has done through 2 games.
He was a ghost again tonight.
And on the penalty kill, he's just like the kid. We can talk about goaltending, we can talk about Knoblock, but this series is being dictated by special teams right now.
Yes, it is.
The Kings are absolutely bending the Oilers over on special teams, and it's simply unacceptable. Like,
it's 50%.
I know your penalty kill. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's 50%. It's 5 for 10.
Yeah, but even the power play, the Oilers' power play
is over.
It looks like it's the worst it's been in the last 5 years so far in this series. And you know what? The Kings are aggressive on their penalty kill, and the Oilers on their penalty kill are not.
No.
Like, anybody can go out there like Nuge has been on the penalty kill and go like this the whole time.
Evan Bouchard.
Like,
are you doing an
something.
Evan Bouchard or Ryan Nugent-Hopkins impersonation right now?
Yeah, well, both. I mean, and the second goal tonight. I got to get us all out of the way because I got to go. You got Cass.
No, I love this. You're spitting.
The
That's how
second
mad
goal
you are.
tonight was simply unacceptable on so many levels. They have the numbers. And then the puck comes up along the boards. Leon makes a hit. I'm not sure what Nurse was doing. Connor McDavid was right next to Quinton Byfield. And as soon as that puck came into the little scrum along the boards, McDavid goes to cheat for offense.
Yep.
Byfield comes and gets the puck. Nurse is out of position. Byfield cuts right to the net, and I spent half of the third period arguing with somebody on Twitter because they're like, Dusty Bouchard did his job. And I'm like, no, he didn't. Okay?
No.
Evan Bouchard needs to realize at that situation that your only job is to not just try to take away the pass. You can't allow one of their most dangerous players to simply walk in. Plus, if he would have recognized who was on the other side, it was a lefty who that one-timer is not going to be as clean as if it's a righty over there who can freaking fire it. Like, and then Skinner, he's back in the net. Pretty sick finish from Byfield, to be honest with you, up top like that.
Yeah, it was a nice shot.
But McDavid, Nurse, Bouchard, Skinner, all four of them in a one-goal hockey game completely blew it on that goal. And it's just, that type of stuff's unacceptable. Like, it's embarrassing.
At this point in the season, guys, again, like, this is like game 46 crap. Like, that play is just, what does Cass say, Tommy?
Compounding errors.
Compounding errors. There's 4 guys at fault there, 3 guys. I mean, and listen, no one's defending Stuart Skinner. 11 goals in 2 games is not good enough. Pickard will be your game 3 starter by that stupid poll. We all know that. We all know that. We all know it's going to be him. But I was telling Penner's Pancakes on the Nasty Chat, guys, before the game ended, it doesn't matter who's in net if they keep playing like this.
Exactly.
It doesn't.
It's the truth, though. It doesn't. Unless Calvin Pickard comes in and stands on his head. If this team plays like they played in the first 2 games, it doesn't matter who's in net.
No, it doesn't.
Like, you could bring Cujo out of the past and put him in net right now. It doesn't matter. The team is... They're awful right
They're
now.
playing dumb hockey.
Yeah, well, I said to you,
hockey.
Right off the top, it was a better start to the period.
Yes.
To the game.
Yes.
But it was not you're down 1-0 and gotta have game 2 start.
This team doesn't take games away. It doesn't dictate pace. It doesn't go in and say, my puck, not yours. You come and get it from me. It doesn't have that mentality. Unfortunately, they have not flipped that switch on or haven't had their awakening in the postseason. I don't know where they're going to get it. I don't know how they're going to get it, but they have one game to figure this shit out. Otherwise, they're done.
Oh, yeah.
And there are people already saying they're done, and they might very well be right.
You know what?
I thought they were. I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and I said they're going to wake up.
I thought they were
going to
win
fine.
tonight. Yeah.
They're playing like horse crap.
Yeah, I honestly, legitimately thought they were going to come out better tonight.
They did come out better.
They came out better,
first period.
They had a good first period.
Credit.
But did they have the first period they needed? I don't think so.
No, they didn't have a lead.
Leon Draisaitl didn't have a shot on goal till he scored.
Dusty, they didn't have a shot 8 minutes until 9 minutes into the second period.
But, like, you go nuclear, and somehow, and I'm not putting it all on Draisaitl, I'm just saying as a team, like, Leon didn't have a shot until late in the second period, and you're like that's not. I thought they would come out with a bet. Like, it was better than last game to start, but it was not good enough for the sense of urgency that they should have had tonight, which I think was pretty disappointing. And then, the special teams. I can't wait. I'm going to go ahead home. And can't wait to hear what Cass has to say about special teams, because this penalty kill has been bad. It hasn't been good all year. It got better for a stretch, which improved it overall.
Yes.
But the penalty kill is embarrassing. You're letting 5 forwards completely walk around you right now. And, like, that's not something that Pickard can fix. No. It's just, it's ugly, man.
Dusty, let me ask you this before you go. Yeah. Let me ask you this, and I want to ask Cass and Tommy as well once Cass jumps on. For game 3, do you start nuclear option?
Man, I don't know.
Who cares at this point?
I don't know. I'm not too sure what you do in game 3, to be honest with you, buddy. Now, I will say this before I leave. I know I've been ranting because the first 2 games deserve a rant, and I got more coming down the pipe tomorrow morning. But like, they haven't lost at home yet. Okay?
Right.
Come home. I'm assuming Rogers Place will be rocking on Friday nights.
I'll be nervous.
Pick up a win in game 3. Somehow find a way to win game 4. And then the pressure starts to mount up on the Kings a little bit. So I'm not going to come on here today and say it's done, but I'm going to say they're playing like a team that doesn't belong in this series right now, which is concerning. So, see you later.
Okay, Dusty. Thank you for that, Dusty Nielsen. He's a hot tamale. Good stuff. Dusty and LT, YouTube, Trev, Belzy. Who else was here? Hernan was here for a little bit. Great turnout. A lot of nasties. I have to give the nasties credit for showing up tonight as Cass is getting ready to hop on here. Cal in the park. Sarah, their daughter. Who else? Zach and Riley. Then we had, we had Calvin. We had his wife. We had another couple. We had Atif and his brother. We had VR Montenegro, Corey B, Rip City Step. I feel like I'm forgetting some. We had a great turnout. Steve and Adam here at Hudson's Bourbon Street were like, hey, you guys and your listeners and your viewers from your station show up. And tonight was a great turnout. So huge kudos to our nasties who we know are the best. And that's why we have a great community here at EST. We can't thank you guys enough. All right. A guy I can't thank enough and praise him enough is our game analyst, Matt Cassian, who's ready for the breakdown after that epic rant from Dustin Nielsen, which I enjoyed thoroughly. Of course, the breakdown is always brought to you by South Fort Chev. Buy now, save 0% financing, OAC up to 72 months, or save up to $8,000 on 2025 Silverado 1500s. It's that time of year for your seasonal tire change service. Mention that EST sent you. Receive an on-rim tire change for $59.95 plus tax. They're also giving a big discount on inspections when you get your tires changed. See dealer for details, www.southfortchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. All right, Cass, I don't know how you follow that epic rant from Dusty, but my goodness, man. They're getting murdered on special teams. Power plays over. PK is 50% through 2 games, just leaking goals left, right, and center. Defense is a mess. Can't get a save from their goalies now, and then the forwards are doing nothing. And I mean absolutely diddly squat to make life better for the defense or goalie.
Yeah, no, they're not helping either. Man, I had the thought, and I don't want to have the thought like if they get swept or when they get swept. I mean, but that popped into my mind. It popped into my mind tonight, and it popped into my mind when their penalty kill was absolutely getting lit up every single time they stepped on the ice. And the thought was, in watching Wallman and watching Frederick, is they did not get better at the deadline. They didn't do anything at the deadline. They brought in a guy that's hurt and a guy that was maybe only having a great season because he played with a guy that you traded away that was a staple on your penalty kill in the offseason. And the reality from a special team standpoint is you traded away 3 of your defensemen. Ironically, 2 out of the 3 that were kind of your 2 main penalty killers. And wait a second, you trade away your forwards that were your penalty killers or let them walk earlier in the season. And I had that thought, is like, those are the moments we're going to look back at. We're going to look back at the CC trade. Unfortunately, we're going to look back at the Holloway, letting him walk, letting Broberg walk, and all the things that we undoubtedly would talk about. Now, we're not there yet. But I understand the frustration, guys. I understand Dusty's frustration. And I understand people frustration with Skinner too. It's like, yeah, you would love to have a save on some of those. Now, some of those really great shots, well, you would still love a save with them. And it's like, you have to have that. That's the only way they win this game tonight, is if Stuart Skinner does something so unbelievable from a game standpoint that he keeps you in it, because your penalty kill just absolutely sucks. It sucks. It can't do anything. Your power play doesn't know how to deal with the aggression. It reminded me very much of a Kevin Constantine style penalty kill that we would use when I played, which is just full, heavy, high pressure. And when it's executed well, very difficult to generate much on the power play. Edmonton hasn't been able to do that. Their defense are suspect. Wallman was brutal.
He was awful.
Brutal on 2 of those goals tonight, completely out to lunch, couldn't do it. Arvidsson turning the puck over, and then both players skating into the corner on Kempe's goal. Like, it's just, it's mistake after mistake after mistake in their own zone defensively that is absolutely crushing them, both on the penalty kill as well as just playing 5-on-5. And to go, even if we want to go to the Kopitar goal, and Darnell Nurse, he's played really well this season, so not gonna overly jump on him. But even in that one, where it's like I don't know what he's doing. Watch that goal when the puck's at the side of the net and Fiala has it. It's like he's kind of stuck in this on one knee, kind of half spinning, kind of fishing with his stick out in the middle of nowhere, not doing anything, and then it's a laser being passed back door for a tap in. Obviously Skinner's fault. So Like it's fallen apart everywhere on the ice. And it's like they give you those little glimmers of hope, and they start to crawl back in the game for this one. And that sucks in some ways because it's like they could almost come back, but they didn't, and they don't. And it takes me back to keeping guys too long on the ice in game one. It takes me back to that because it could have been such a different game, which I think the start to this game would have been different. But guys, I mean, I don't know. I'm maybe not quite matching you, Nanso, or Dusty for the heat that Dusty just brought. But guys, it's atrocious. It's atrocious. Like you play anywhere close to that, you're getting swept, and that is a frustrating place to be.
We might have to keep you till 12 because I have so many questions for both of you. I already asked Dusty this, Cass, and it might not matter. I mean, I don't know. But for game 3, Cass, that's a must-have for the Edmonton Oilers, or the series is over. Yeah. We talked about it initially with Dusty that when they go nuclear, you don't get a lot from the other guys. You don't. And I know they scored a goal there. They made it 3-2, but Cass, you can probably count on one hand maybe 2-3 opportunities from the other lines today when they go nuclear. What would you do ahead of game 3? Because I know a lot of people in the nasty chat are saying, please split them up because you get more of a balanced lineup. Some people are saying stick with them. They're the only hope you have to win a game. What would you do ahead of game 3? Would you stick with Draisaitl and McDavid on the same line, or would you split them up?
Let me remind everyone before Cass dives into this, they were on different lines for the start of last game, and they had an absolutely brutal first 40 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's such a hard question. That's such a hard question because, you know, they come out in that first shift of the game tonight. Yeah. It's like they were great. They were great. That first 40 seconds, fantastic. A good chance, spend time in the offensive zone. You're like, all right, they're going, they're jumping. But then it falls flat through the rest of the lineup. And part of that, it's like you have Frederick, who looks like he can't skate that well. And Kane, this is his first game back in like a year. Yeah. And he had a couple moments where he was moving well, but he doesn't look like he can move that well. And it's like, who else do you have that's going to be bringing in the lineup? You know, I want to say, yeah, let's balance this out a little bit more. But is Arvidsson going to give you good minutes with McDavid, or is he going to turn the puck over doing Lord knows what in the defensive zone again? Like it's just there haven't been, at least in these 2 games, enough players outside of it that have forced that issue. Like who else outside of McDavid or Draisaitl have we watched and went, oh, there's a shift. Oh, there's a guy that's going. Yeah. Oh, there's a group that's pushing. Oh, there's guys that are really driving this forward. Like who? Tell me who? No one has done that yet. These first 2 games, you have had like what? One good shift by Janmark that he got a goal, and outside of that, you're like, okay, well, no one really has contributed on any kind of a consistent basis outside of McDavid and Draisaitl being together. So I don't know, Hernan. Like I want them to not be playing together, but they're not getting enough from other guys, at least not thus far in the series.
Listen, if you want to have like a positive outlook on it or a silver lining in regard to like who outside of the big guys has done anything, like Podkolzin setting up that Arvidsson goal, that is a small little thing, but I was like, oh, there he is. You know, I like what he's doing on this rush. And then boom, it's a smart play, gets it deep, then goes low to high. Arvidsson goes to net, redirects it home. But like once every period, once every 30 minutes in a game from an obscure guy on the lineup, like that's not enough. You need guys to rise in the postseason. Nobody's risen and elevated their game at all.
They haven't. Nope.
780-218-9999. Text us your thoughts on tonight's loss, the series as a whole. Edmonton, garbage on the PK this postseason. 5 for 10. 5 for 10 in 2 games. Pathetically bad. And the power play, 0 for yet again. Special teams, they are getting destroyed. They are not getting the save everybody desires. And their forwards are, we called it compounding errors, Cass. We're seeing them make mistakes. We're seeing the defense exposed. It is just everything and anything that could go wrong is going wrong with this Oilers team through the first 2 games of this series. Really quickly, I'm going to give you the scoring summary, and maybe it'll rekindle some memories and things we want to hit on. First period, Brandt Clark scores on the power play, his first ever postseason goal from Fogle and Deneau. Fogle walks around a guy, I think it was Wallman, and then I think it was Nurse sliding down, and Fogle knows that that's Nurse's thing. Tucks it over to Clark. Clark buries it past Stu Skinner, 1-0 at 8:44. In the second period, Quinton Byfield, again, compounding errors. McDavid is with Byfield, flies the zone for offense. Then you get a hit along the wall from Draisaitl, and I think McDavid assumed Draisaitl would get that puck out and maybe spring McDavid. Not the case. He goes in for the hit. Nurse sneaks up above Draisaitl and the Kings player. Byfield walks in uncontested, and then Bouchard backs off like he's sweeping a curling broom and allows Byfield to go roof daddy on Stu Skinner. 2-0 at that point. Gavrikov and Fogle the assists at 4:14. Then Andrei Kuzmenko, the carom off the back wall. Wallman does not pick up Kuzmenko at all. He looks like he's flopping around. Kuzmenko tucks home his second of the series from Kempe and Kopitar. 3-0 at 10:37. The Oilers do get a spark. Leon Draisaitl, second of the postseason. Nice play off a nice feed from John Klingberg. Redirects it past Darcy Kemper to cut the lead to 3-1 at 13:54. You're going, okay, we've seen this before. Not as bad as the other night. Maybe they can pull their heads out of their you-know-whats and get this thing on track. Well, 4:05 in. Viktor Arvidsson gets his first. A redirection as well in front of Kemper off a Kulak point shot off a nice play set up by Vasily Podkolzin. That's a depth goal, but not enough, obviously. 3-2 at that point. Then the Kings pour it on. You're going to get 3 goals in a 4-minute and 25-second span. Adrian Kempe blasts one or rips one by Stu Skinner, second of the postseason from Kopitar, making it 4-2 at 6:46. Kopitar would add to the lead at 9:07. His first from Fiala and Kempe to make it 5-2. Again, it was it was a Nurse sliding, and then Fiala, with the good patience, fires it over to Kopitar. He banks it in off of the skate of Stu Skinner at 9:07. Then they pull Stu Skinner at the 9:30 mark. So not only that, he stays out there for another 23 seconds. There's a whistle, TV timeout. They put Calvin Pickard in there. And the first shot Pickard sees from Kempe at 11:09 goes, what do we call it? He goes roof daddy. He goes juice box on him to make it 6-2. Kempe's third. Kuzmenko third assist of the series. Kopitar fourth assist. Game over, 6-2 at that point. Shots on goal, 26 for the Oil, 31 for the Kings, so they get outshot. Face-offs, 52.2% to 47.8. Power play, like I said, 0 for 3. PK, 3 for 5. Just brutal. Hits, 36-24 in favor of the Oilers. Block shots, 15-10 in favor of the Oilers. Giveaways, 15 for Edmonton, 8 for the Kings. 7 takeaways for the Oil, 3 for the Kings. 6-2 is your final. The Kings up 2-0. I have to stop right now and pass it off to you guys because somebody is butchering Love Hurts right now.
I was just gonna ask, is that a thief?
I don't know if a thief can even sing that bad, but it's all I couldn't even think straight. I'm like, who is hurting that dog out there?
Karaoke night after an Oilers playoff loss is not a good combo,
my God,
guys. It is not a good combo.
No. They're just getting it off their chest. Did that just feel horrible to you, though, Hernan? Like listening to that game summary that Tommy just gave? Like, was that just not painful to listen to? Painful.
And listen, I see people on X complaining about the officials again. Like, I'm sorry. Adam Henrique is a stupid penalty. Stupid. From a veteran guy.
Yeah.
But Cass, I want to ask you, and Tom, obviously you as well. A lot of talk on the Nasty Chat about Mr. Number 93, Nugent Hopkins. He's loved in this city. He's long-time Edmonton Oilers, going to go down. It's probably most games played. He's an absolute warrior. But Cass, he's MIA right now. He's not bringing you
MIA.
Anything.
Nothing.
Anything.
Zero goals, 0 assists, 0 points. At least he was even, plus minus, but that's because they got scored on like 50 times on the when they were shorthanded. 18-27 played in 18 shifts. 0 power play goals. 1 shot on net, 1 block, 0 hits, 0 giveaways, 0 takeaways. 53.8% in the dot. Basically, he did nothing. Right?
Yeah. And
he existed.
Cass, and it's funny because, and Tommy, you can allude to this, it kind of hurts to say that about a guy like Nuge because, like I said, everybody loves him. He's an honest player. Mm-hmm. He works his butt off. But, I mean, there's no defending this guy after 2 games. He still has a chance to turn it around, but you need – if we were talking pregame, who needs to step up to help the nuclear line? And I think most people had number 93, and he's not even close to that right now.
Listen, he's been brutal. I've called him a ghost for a reason, and he's continued to be a ghost. I'm sorry, this guy is wailing over here. I've been distracted. I apologize, guys. Let me collect my thoughts. Cass, you take it away. This is just, I don't know how to describe it. Please,
it's continue. You know what? And we don't know how to describe the Edmonton Oilers, and we don't know necessarily. Well, maybe we do. Maybe we figured it out. We know how to describe Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, as Tommy described right now, as absent.
Yeah.
Currently. From doing much of anything of quality in the playoffs so far. And he absolutely is a guy, if you're moving to that nuclear option model that has to drive the game. And Tommy, you asked that before, Hernan, or maybe that was you, Hernan, that asked that before, is like, you know, what do you need from him? It's like, well, you need him to drive a line. You need him to do something, to be some kind of threat. I believe is what I said. Like, you need him to be a scoring threat. You need him to be +1 or better. And he wasn't that, right? He wasn't that. One shot on net. I don't even remember that shot. I don't know when it happened. I can't remember if it was any kind of challenging. Certainly not threatening on the power play when he was out there for it, as the power play as a whole was completely useless. So, yeah, I mean, frustration for sure to look at it. But it's not just Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. No. It's not just him.
There's a whole whack. Tommy, I know you're dealing with the karaoke night.
He's done. Thank God. My mind is clear.
Jay just sent a chat summary, auto-generated. Says, viewers are upset about the Oilers' loss and are criticizing the team's goaltending, particularly Stuart Skinner and his save percentage. Some are also speculating about the future of Connor McDavid and whether he will leave the team. So, and I also have Leon Draisaitl post-game if you'd like, Tommy and Cass.
Okay, let's do this. I'm going to read a couple of texts just to give people a sampling of the text line. I'm not even going to look at the nasty chat. I peeked over there really quickly. I think Chief Andy, who I got mad at the end of the last post game, said, hey, Tom, they played better with Josh Brown in the lineup. Yee. I'm not even going to disagree with Chief Andy on that one. Well played, Chief Andy. Okay, doesn't sign text guy. Text in said, the Oilers are finally out hitting their opponent like the Nasty Clan has wanted all year. How's that going? But the diving is atrocious. You have to go back to Nuge, Connor, Hyman line, spread the offense. Sorry, the beers hit after that disgrace, and I'm venting. No, that's fine, doesn't sign text guy. A lot of people are feeling like they need to vent. That's why we do this show. It's part of the process, let's say. Smudge says, hey, fellas, here's my thoughts. 1, Oilers getting what they pay for in net, paying $3.6 million for both goalies. Arvidsson makes more than that alone, and we don't expect him to be this insane game saver. Skinner isn't at fault for 1 goal tonight, in my opinion. Everyone that wants the quote-unquote big save is expecting results of an $8 to $10 million guy. 2, got to split up the big dogs and put Nuge back on wing. He had a real rough game tonight in my eyes and could be better suited back on the wing. 3, Nuge, McDavid, Hyman, Kane, Dry, Arvidsson, Janmark, Henrik, Brown, Frederick, Philp, Perry. 3, this is from Smudge, says Klingberg was good and should play again on Friday. I agree with you, Smudge. Yeah, well said. All right, let's go to the Oilers locker room down in L.A. Let's hear from Leon Draisaitl, who picked up another goal tonight.
The special teams battle right now, especially on their power play near the PK. What is allowing them to find a little bit more success than you guys are hoping?
Yeah, they're just winning that battle right now. That's really all it is. They're beating us in that department. So, we got to fix some things and be better.
When it comes to the power play, Corey said execution is maybe the biggest thing. Is that the way you're seeing it, or is there something you'd want to tweak to ultimately find a couple?
We got to make some tweaks, and it just comes down to execution and the timing of when you score, right? So I haven't been able to do that. So obviously, again, got to be better.
Your defensive zone, not just your team's defensive zone work, lots of chances, but lots of really high quality chances. Does that have to come down for this team to pull this thing back in?
I mean, I don't know if I agree with that. The first 2 periods, I don't know how many grade A looks they had 5-on-5. At the end, we gave up a gazillion of them, yeah, of course. But the first 2 periods, I'm not sure how many grade A looks they had. but obviously, again, something that we need to clean up.
12 goals, I guess, in 2 games is. You just can't make a living on 12 goals in 2 games.
No, of course not. Way too many. Just a little slow right now, and again, something we have to fix.
Leon, what's the overall, like, you don't want to be in this spot, but you have been able to come back and make series, when you have been in deficit. So what's kind of the overall mood of this team right now?
We just have to be better. We got to dig in, and we got to be better. And this group has a lot of character in here. So we'll regroup, let this one go, and go back home and try to bring our best game.
Is the Kings penalty kill bringing something unexpected?
Nope. It's very expected. I think the first game we created lots of looks that probably could have ended up in some goals. We haven't. There's no going around that. So we just have to cash in. We got to dig in a little deeper and execute a little better.
Then you guys sent these guys into their summer the last 3 years in a row. Is there maybe a hunger across there that's hard to match?
We got a hunger to win as well, but we got to ramp it up. We got to dig in. We got to start playing here. Obviously, it hasn't been good enough, and there's hunger on their side. Of course, you can sense that, but it's not anything that we're not able to match. We just have to find it, and we got to find it quick, of course.
All right, there's Leon Draisaitl. Yeah, I respect and understand him saying that they have a hunger. And listen, they probably do. But by no means are they anywhere near the amount of hunger that the LA Kings are displaying. No matter how much you try to tell everyone, which is the right thing to do technically, because you're not going to be like, no, we're not desperate, we're not hungry, we're fat and satisfied. That's not going to go over well. But they are not hungry, Cass or Hernan. They are not hungry at all. They're not playing with desperation. To me, I'll just say it, I think they play with entitlement. They played with entitlement these first 2 games. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Pretty hard to argue, but because they have, I don't know. I don't know if entitlement's the right word.
I'm being overly critical because these have been 2 dog crap games from them.
Well, they've been absolutely horrible, and I'm on board with you for how poorly they've played. I think that I'm totally in agreement with that. I'm just trying to think of a word that is more apt a descriptor, because I think I don't think it's just overconfidence, too much just kind of expectation. I mean, it's just, I don't know, apathy maybe.
Do you guys on this question, do you guys believe that they started bad though?
Not today,
right?
No.
I don't think they were waiting for something bad to happen or were feeling out the Kings to get themselves in the game, right? I still think they started well enough to have a lead in this game.
Yeah, they were in it. They were in it till the Byfield goal.
Yeah.
Right, even after the power play goal, which you're just anytime they get a power play, which is going to be the story for the rest of the series, you're just going to be holding your freaking breath the entire time because we have no faith in their penalty killing. Even after that, I was I thought they were still pretty good the rest of the period. And then the second period started, and then it's in the second period, LA smelled a little bit of blood. Mm-hmm. And they got that Byfield goal, and then it was just all bets were off. Oilers couldn't get a shot. They couldn't get any offense. They couldn't do anything at that point. But it kind of feels like they settle into this apathetic. And the hard thing for me, guys, and maybe you jump in on this and let me know what you think, is almost like they are so good at coming back in games, and they do have that ability. They just kind of have the nonchalantness about even if they do get down, and that switch just doesn't go. That's kind of what it felt like to me.
That's probably a more apropos way to describe it. I used entitlement. It's just, I know these guys. They have swagger, and they deserve to have swagger. They've earned it, but this is the playoffs. And listen, they have played a ton of hockey in the last calendar year. I get that. Maybe there's no juice left in the tank. I don't like that excuse. I'm curious to see how they come out in Game 3. I still have hope for them. I still think it's capable. This team is capable of winning this series. But, yeah, that's a more apt way to describe it, Cass. But I just use entitlement because, to me, I know they think they can win this series, but they're not playing like a team that's desperate to win this series. Their lack of attention to details, blowing the zone is a sign of that. The way they defend when they get stuck on odd man rushes, low in their own zone. It's like so much frustration. And a credit to the Kings for playing their butts off and creating the opportunities they do get, and also taking advantage of the opportunities that the Oilers have, unfortunately, been providing them way too often in games. I just had Sean Bell say goodbye here. I said, Bellsy, we got an open seat? And he goes, no, not tonight. I don't have time for this. And he doesn't want anything to do with it. So he's like, Cassian, Reid, and Hernan, and you can take care of it. I'm like, okay, fine. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Reid is coming up shortly. We want to hear from you. Shanked one says, Skinner needs to stop the Kempe with the game at 3-2. Come on, make a big save, please. That's from Shanked one, who says he's also frustrated. Nugent Hopkins on the PK for less than 30 seconds. He has the puck with Podkolzin just outside the Kings blue line, and he dumps it and makes a line change. You are going against the forward. You can't be tired. What are you doing? My God. That's from Shanked one. K-Town says, this season is on management. Fans have wanted a goalie change for 2 years. This is the most important offseason in Oiler history, and the organization needs to get creative and getting dry some wingers, drastically improving the D and goalies. It's time to show the fans and your star players that you're serious about winning. Enough is enough. That's Josh from K-Town. I'll say to Josh from K-Town, the line of this is the most important offseason in Oilers history has been basically used all three of the last off seasons. And the Oilers management team, now that we look on back at it, did try to do exactly what you were describing, finding wingers for Draisaitl. They didn't seem to like him. So they have tried. Unfortunately, to this point, it hasn't worked, and the series isn't over and the season isn't over. All right. Cass, do you want to give your thoughts going into Game 3, and then we'll let you go get some rest and be ready for your show tomorrow. Two Guys and a Goalie coming up at noon tomorrow. Go ahead, Cass.
That's going to be a fun one. Yeah, Two Guys and a Goalie with Joaquin Gage and Dustin Nielsen at 12 p.m. tomorrow, and it will be colorful, I am sure. To say the least, maybe Dusty gets some of it out of his system in the morning, but probably not. And I certainly will be have it brewing, I'm sure, as we go. Thoughts heading forward. Well, you're coming back home, so you're going to try to rely on that as they just play really well at home. We got to get them in our home. You're going to probably try to buy into the storyline as a team of it's not really a series till someone wins in the other team's building. So we just, we come home, we win 2 in a row at home, and all of a sudden we're back on equal footing and turn it into a best of 3. I mean, that's going to be the mindset. Now the execution, that's going to be the problem. Ekholm's not going to be back, right? Evander Kane, this will be his second game. Frederick, doubtful he can skate any better than he did today in a couple of days. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who knows if he wakes up or not. So there's just a lot of question marks. It's maybe to go to that complacency or, whatever, feeling that they deserve it or they've earned it or however or whatever the mindset is. I think we have to see a desperate hockey game, Tom. They need to play a desperate hockey game, and they need something. And not late in the game, not after they're down 3 freaking goals already. They need something from somewhere deeper down in the lineup. And for goodness sakes, kill a bloody penalty. If they can do that, there's
my goodness. The best PK they had today was when the Kings took a penalty.
Yep.
Seriously, that's how bad it has been. Cass, good stuff as always, my friend. We'll catch up with you on the flip side tomorrow and then Friday for Game 3. Maybe the Oilers can turn this thing around, but it does not look good right now.
Nope, it doesn't. But it's not quite a must-win game, right? It's almost, but not quite. So they're still in it, guys. So for as grumpy as we are, let's try to have hope. Maybe that's what Reid's going to do. So I'm gonna stick around and listen to him for a little bit because I want to hear what he has to say, and he's gonna. I just know Reid because I know you can hear me. I know you're going to make me feel better.
Cass, hope is a beautiful thing, my friend.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I agree.
I like that. Oh, he's hinging everything on Reid. Big pressure coming up here, Reid. Before we get to Reid's Reid here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show, we do have to get to the turning point of the game. The turning point of the game brought to you as always by Advantage Sport Medicine and physiotherapy at Advanced Sport Medicine and Physio. We treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians, along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. If you have a nagging pain you'd like to see go away, book your consultation today at www.advantagesportmed.ca. 3 goals in 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Absolutely guts the Oilers when they had made it 3-2 at 4:05. All it took was 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Or was that 2 minutes and 41 seconds before the Kings responded. Kempe and then Kopitar at 9:07, and then Kempe again at 11:09. Buries the Oilers, squashes any hope of a comeback, and away we go into Game 3 with the Oil down 2-0. A power play that can't score, 0 for 5. A PK that can't stop diddly squat, going 50%, 5 for 10. And then a goalie who can't stop anything when you need him to, and a backup goalie who gets his first shot that gets buried by him and will likely be your starter in game number 3. That is your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. A 4-minute and 25-second span in the third period where the Oilers allow 3 goals and get absolutely sunk by the LA Kings. You can text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well as the Oilers fall 6-2, take a 2-0 series deficit to the Kings into Game 3 on Friday. Let's get to Reid Wilkins and Reid's Reid, brought to you by the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. Fall in, golfers. Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club is open to the public, and memberships are still available. Join the ranks today and experience top-tier golf with a proud military tradition. For more info, visit egmgolf.com to enlist. Reid Wilkins, host of the Reid Wilkins Show, hopping on now as the Oilers lose 6-2 in Game 2. Reid, Rick, Cass was just on here, and he was saying, please provide some hope for this group because he doesn't have a lot of it. So are you going to bring us some positivity, or is it going to be more doom and gloom? What's up, dude?
The goals don't carry over, but it's going to take a massive turnaround here by the Oilers because the Oilers are getting throttled, I think, in every area of the game. The headline for me, I guess, if I had to pick one thing, is that it's complete special teams domination by the Los Angeles Kings. It is 5-0 in terms of power play goals. What is the overall goal differential in the series? 5.
12. Yeah, it's 12-7 in favor.
Right now,
12-7.
I'm oversimplifying that to an extent, but if you look at the power play goals and when they have been scored, and some of the types of penalties the Oilers have taken, quite frankly, that are avoidable if you're a little smarter or a little quicker, that's absolutely killing the Oilers. And it's one thing to give up 5. The Oilers' power play is not close to scoring. They've maybe had 2 good scoring chances on the power play. Hyman had one today. He didn't lift the puck high enough. And then the bigger save on that play was Gavrikov knocking the rebound away because Hyman was about to shovel the rebound into the net. So I think this is going to come down to execution. I was surprised. Well, maybe I wasn't surprised. A little surprised. Draisaitl sounded incredibly calm and incredibly, we know what we have to do. We're just not doing it. Well, okay, you don't have much time to do that now. The power play, they are, and I've never seen a team do this on the PK with this much success. They are going at Connor McDavid. And that is often a recipe for doom because he can step around you, and then it's a 5-on-3. Mm-hmm. So usually teams try to be a little bit more passive and take away the passing seams for the Oilers. So that the way the Kings are doing that is a little bit shocking. They are aggressive, and the Oilers aren't able to keep pucks alive. And the one thing I said after one of the 2 games the Kings won in the regular season is that, yes, they're big and, yes, they have skill, but the thing that concerned me most was their speed. I think they're faster. They've upgraded in a few areas, but I think they're faster than in other areas. And I'm not saying they can keep up with McDavid, but they can at least get on him and bother him a little bit more. And I think their penalty killers are doing that. And then clearly the Oilers' penalty kill is a disaster in every area, like getting sliced apart, not tying up people in front of the net, not getting stops. It's just everything. So that's the headline for me. If I only had time to talk about one thing, but I'm grateful I have more time than that. But it's special teams is area number one. And then you look at the grade A mistakes, or whatever you want to call them, or maybe the grade F mistakes, like the big mistakes. I don't think the Kings have made one. And I'm not saying the LA Kings have been perfect, and clearly they were under pressure in the third period of game one and didn't look very good. But I don't know if the Kings have made a mistake that was a massive self-inflicted wound, or could have been if they weren't bailed out by their goaltender. Because quite frankly, they haven't been bailed out by their goaltender, which I still want to talk about.
Yep.
How many self-inflicted wounds have the Oilers made? Okay. Bouchard a couple times in game one. Just off the top of my head. I mentioned penalties that probably could avoid being taken if you're a little smarter or a little better positionally. The Byfield goal. I know you guys have talked about it. Forwards flying the zone. Nurse on the wrong side of the puck. Nurse, who's actually probably been one of the better Oilers in this series. There's no reason for him to go with Laferriere. Laferriere is being responsible. He's thinking, I got a teammate in a puck battle. I have to get on the defensive side of the puck. Even though the puck's in the other end, I have to get closer to my own net. And Nurse goes with him. Now, again, maybe Nurse thought a forward was supposed to be coming back. Still, there's no reason to go there. I know there's a lot of debate about how Bouchard could have played that 2-on-1. I get taking away the pass, but probably at some point you have to do something to bother the shooter a little bit. And then, yes, you need a save. Is it a great shot by one of the Kings' best players? Yes. You also need a key save to keep it 1-0. I mean, I was watching Montreal-Washington. Montreal could have tied the game again. Thompson came up with a couple big saves. And, yes, Montreal hit a post and he got lucky. But, you need a save in that situation. So again, it's compounding most of, I guess, because the Oilers did tie the game under pressure in game one. Mm-hmm. But most of those key battles or the key moments in the game, the Kings are winning them. Whether it's a special team situation, a battle in front of the net, a save, a good shot. Oh, and then the Arvidsson, he makes a great tip. He makes the best play that an Oiler has made in front of the net in this series. He actually camped out in front of the net and just said, to hell with it. I'm going to risk pain to try to score a goal, and he did. And then 2 minutes later or whatever it was, he fans on the puck, and that pretty much ended the game. I mean, they probably weren't going to come back even from 3-2 again, but clearly at 4-2 they weren't coming back again. So the Oilers making big mistakes, Kings aren't. And I'm going to read what I wrote on Twitter, and this is a go-to thing for me when I watch a hockey game. The Kings are owning the front of the net at both ends of the ice, which I think is personnel as much as coaching and determination. And they look bigger, faster, and hungrier. And they are rolling. They are playing downhill. They are having fun. They have belief. Look at the joy they have. They look like they think they're going to score on every single shot. And that's not a shot at Skinner. I want to talk about the goaltending. I think I have already. They just believe that everything they try is going to work. A clearing pass, a blocked shot, a body check, a pass. They just, look at the reaction when they score. And I hope the Oilers are getting a little pissed off about that. Tom, Brandt Clark, I believe, is a top 10 draft pick. He's probably going to have a really good NHL career. Right now, he is a frickin' nobody. And he's celebrating his goal like he's just scored in overtime of Game 7. That's how they're playing. They have the swagger right now in this series. Anyway.
Sorry, Reid. I was just going to say, Leon was asked, it seems like it means more to them, which is hard to say because Leon's well, it means a lot to us too. We want to win this series too.
Then show it.
Yeah,
show it.
That's what I mean.
You're not.
Reid, did you say it, or Tom or Cass maybe, where Leon was really calm in his post game?
Cass brought that up, but I think they're entitled. I know Cass was looking for a more apropos word. I genuinely think that the Oilers are entitled right now, and they think they're better than the Kings, but they're not playing better than the Kings. The Kings are owning their asses.
Reid, I'll ask you, since I've asked everybody on the show, does it matter if they go nuclear in Game 3? Like, do you have a preference? Or for you, it's just go out and win
Yeah.
the damn game. I don't care who's on which line.
Well, yeah, they got to play better. I agree with the person who texted in earlier because I was thinking it before I was coming on about things I want to talk about. Put Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, and McDavid back together. I think you have to go back to that. Then you try Draisaitl, Kane, and somebody. I don't even know who. Probably Perry. And then you try to put together some sort of a bottom six. It's not working for Nugent this series, so maybe he has to be on McDavid's wing. But that's, so like honestly, guys, even Draisaitl in this series, I'm not sure has been that great. I really think most of the offense has been McDavid, and then one or two other guys have a good shift, like Janmark or Arvidsson or whoever. So, and, McDavid, he's not perfect. I mean, he was, I do not like him killing penalties. I think that's honestly, I think Knoblock's done a good job. I think that's the worst coaching decision he's made.
Is that a sign of desperation?
Not be killing. Yes, because if you put McDavid on the ice, he's thinking, okay, he wants me to score a shorthanded goal. In the third period of game one, that's fine. Tonight should not happen, and he's on the ice for a power. Now, I know he set up Brown for the best chance Brown has had in the series. Connor McDavid should not be killing penalties, and unless, yes, you're down in the third period, and you got to put him out there. I don't like that at all.
And it's because they're running the 5 forward unit, guys. That's why it's McDavid out there, right? Because if he catches them, he can burn by Kempe, who's on the point. Well, try to at least.
Kempe can skate, man. He's got wheels, so he's a great player.
Powerful player, good shot. I know you want to ask me stuff, Tom. I'll just conclude with this. I mean, look, the Oilers' goaltending is subpar. I also wrote this on Twitter. I think the Oilers are more than a big goaltending performance away from winning, though. That's the sad part. But at the other end, I insist on this, guys. Darcy Kuemper has not been tested. I mean, he could play this series blindfolded. And with the way he handles some of the rebounds, at times it looks like he is wearing a blindfold. And that's what's frustrating. I do think this is a goalie that can be exploited. They got 5 on him in 21 minutes. He made a couple okay saves tonight. I mean, the one on Hyman in the first period, if Hyman lifts it, it's a goal. And then and I insist on this. The LA Kings defensive stats are a product of their team defense, not a product of their goaltender. But they're not testing him. They're not testing him at all. It's an easy time for Darcy Kuemper.
All right, let's go to the inbox. It is Reid's Read, brought to you by Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf and Country Club and Curling Club. Go check them out. They're open. Great spot to go golfing. Great clubhouse as well. Not Gary Bettman, Barry Getman texting in. Barry Getman says, you know what they say? You've got to feel the sting of a Game 7 Cup final loss and then the sting of a heartbreaking Game 1 loss followed by a piss-poor Game 2 effort to really learn how to win. Facepalm emoji, shrug emoji from Barry Getman. West End Rob chiming in. West End Rob says, boys, Frederick and Wallman are clearly still hurting. I mean, I thought that they gave these guys more than enough time to be ready. West End Rob also adds, Nuge, Arvidsson, Henrique, and Bouchard in particular have just plain stunk. Look very old and very slow. Let's go to this one. Says this isn't a game changer or something that will change the series, but Arvidsson is the worst, but it's time to bench him and Kapanen in because at least he can PK. I'm going to tell you what right now, Kasperi Kapanen, I stand by this, goes a million miles an hour doing absolutely nothing. Nothing. Kapanen is not the solution to anything for this team right now. Let's go to Seaside Slug, who texts in and says, very long-term outlook on our Edmonton Oilers is that a first-round exit provides what will be left of our players with a long summer of healing time and rest. Our guys look depleted, down and out, kind of like walking wounded. Oilers have a monstrous bullseye on their backs, so not being at the tops of their games is proving absolutely fatal. Reid, you want to touch on any of those texts?
Not much. I mean, fair thoughts. I generally have a personal policy that I'm not going to start doing the off-season autopsy till the season is over, as bleak as it looks now. So I'm not going to talk about talk about that kind of stuff yet. I mean, we'll see how the series finishes. Clearly, it looks. I mean, look. Here's the thing: they're in the worst possible situation you can be in after 2 games. I'm not going to say the series is over, because I wouldn't say the series is over if the Oilers were up 2 games. I mean, that's just how I approach things. But there's a lot of work to do. I mean, the Oilers, again, as I started off with, they're getting beaten in every area. It's not like you could identify 5 areas or pick however you want to break down hockey, offense, defense, special teams, or however you want to include it. It's not like, okay, here are the 5 most important things in hockey, and the Kings are better in 3 and the Oilers are better in 2. However long the list is, the Oilers are better. The Kings are better in every area. I mean, even the performance of star players, as exciting as McDavid has been in this series. I mean, Kempe, Byfield, whoever you want to say are the Kings stars, are still ultimately producing more than McDavid. So there is a long way to go. But like I said, the next game starts 0-0. That's about the best I can give Cass and anybody else for hope. And maybe get a lead. I don't know. Like, maybe get a lead.
That's a noble concept, Reid.
That's the sad part. The first period tonight was not bad. It was not great. Don't get me wrong. It was not great. But the first period, the Oilers were better than the Kings 5-on-5 and didn't give up a ton of chance. I don't know if they gave up a great chance against in the first. Well, and Skinner actually made that good save on Byfield on that power play, and then they still scored at the end of the power play when Fogle slipped that pass under Nurse. So even in a good period, the special teams let them down because they can't kill a penalty.
Guys, I got a quote from Chris Knoblock. I want to get your thoughts on it, okay? This is today, post-game. It was tweeted out by TSN moments ago. This is Chris Knoblock. I don't necessarily see LA making plays to beat us. I see just mistakes, gift wrapping opportunities.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. That's what we've been talking about for an hour already. The Oilers shooting themselves in the foot. Their best guys not doing much. There's support players not doing much. And Reid, I know it's not your policy to go into next season and the offseason and all of this, but I'm sitting there watching this game, and I think it was 3-1, and I'm like, okay, for sure one thing that's going to be discussed, regardless if the Oilers make it past this series or not, is how the supporting cast needs to be improved. Younger, quicker, more skilled. And I'll tell you, and listen, Reid, you don't have to chime in. This is just me. It ain't going to be a European obscure player leading the league in the Swedish league at 29. It ain't going to be some German kid who's 23. It ain't going to be Noah Philp and Matt Savoy being the heroes for the Oilers next season. They need legitimate NHL players with better legs, fresher bodies, and better lungs. When the time comes, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But that is a thought that crossed my mind earlier in the day during the game. I'm talking about it now because I'm thinking about that quote
but that's a fair question though, Tom, because I think I believe that the Oilers can play better.
Yes,
but I think it's a legitimate question: is even if they play to their maximum, are they good enough to beat how the LA Kings are playing right now?
They should be. Should is the key, but they're not executing.
The Kings are rolling, and we know that belief and that hunger that they have, even if it's worth an extra 5%. Maybe LA doesn't have it if they make the next round. Maybe they don't have it to go all the way. But I do believe in confidence and belief making a little bit of difference. I don't think it's everything, because if you have no skill, it doesn't matter how much you believe in yourself. But but that's fair. I mean, and there's nothing from the middle six. I mean, probably the Oilers' fourth line was at least okay for a fourth line today, but there's nothing really from forwards 3 through 8 or 3 through 9, which is pretty discouraging.
All right, let's get. Do you have something, or do you want me to get to this text and bounce it off you guys?
Let's go ahead and do the text, Tom. I do have another thought I want to get to.
Okay, I want to get to this text from Greg the Sound Guy, and then let's follow up with what you've got here, Reid. Maybe it ties in. Greg the Sound Guy texting in and says, "This was for Cass, but I'm going to put it to all three of us. How the heck do these guys, other than McDavid and Draisaitl, not get up for a playoff game? What do you think is going on in the other guys' minds? I can't figure this out, so I would love your guys' thoughts Is this all just a byproduct of coaching? I get that it's a bad mix of players, and maybe I answered my own question, but this is mind-boggling to me. Thank you, guys. Greg, the sound guy.
I
Go
think
ahead,
they're getting beaten, and when you're getting beaten, it looks like you don't care.
Yeah, I agree with Reid. I don't think we can sit here and say the 9 other forwards on the Oilers outside of the nuclear option don't care or are not out there competing and trying hard. I think they are. I agree with Reid. I just think LA's better right now. They're one step ahead of them. And guys, let's be honest. And I know the regular season is past, but a lot of these guys had down years, guys, and it's leading into the playoffs. Trent Frederick looks like he's still not 100%. Let's call it how it is. He's not
nowhere near 100.
Kane, he had a couple good hits, took a penalty, but this guy hasn't played since June 10th, right, Tom? So you have 2 guys in your lineup that are not even close to 100% right now. And then you have a bunch of other guys that have been kind of up and down all year, and it's led into the playoffs. So why are we surprised at this? And LA's full game right now. Full marks. They're the better team, and it's not close.
Reid, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Oilers can play better, and they look like they're not up for the games when you make mistakes, but they're. Yeah, I think they're. Well, I mean, they got to find something else, but I don't think it's just as simple as saying, even though LA is playing hungry, which I did say, I don't think it's just as simple as saying, well, the Oilers aren't hungry enough. I think they're getting beaten and they're making clumsy mistakes.
All right, it's Reid's Reid, brought to you by Edmonton Garrison Golf and Curling Club. You had some other thoughts that you wanted to pass along. Go for it.
I'm sorry to do this to you, to everybody, Tom, but I have to say this. The officiating in the playoffs is garbage.
I said the exact same thing last show.
Can I say it again? Or did you
Hell
say
yeah.
It seems to me that the best way to not get a penalty in this postseason is to cross-check somebody in the head. Like maybe Brendan Gallagher. Just go cross-check him in the mouth. Tonight, and I'll use a couple examples from tonight's game. So, Leon Draisaitl blatantly chops Anze Kopitar's feet out from under him when Kopitar is trying to cover the point on an offensive zone, Oilers offensive zone draw. Like Leon Draisaitl turns around, hacks Kopitar's feet out from under him to the point that, like, I think a couple Kings players might have stopped playing. No penalty. Earlier in the period, Matthias Janmark one-handed waves his stick at a Kings player, hits him lightly on the gloves. The Kings player does not lose control of the puck, still makes a pass to the center of the ice, and that's slashing. And that's just one of many examples. Now, Adam Henrique lost his cool in a game that was out of control. Earlier in that sequence, Quinn Byfield knocked him to the ice and cross-checked him in the head. Almost what Nurse did. Either not quite as bad. So Henrique's mad. Henrique body checks him and pulls him to the ice and gets a penalty. Like, the standard for what is a penalty is ludicrous. Part of it is the way they've written the rule book by wanting to call these little ticky-tack fouls on the hands. And part of it is referees who will sit there and say, oh, that's just a battle. It's just 2 guys battling. You got to let them battle. And then there's like a ticky-tack little grab, or Henrique does what he did. Well, that's out of the battle, though. The battle was over. Henrique didn't realize the battle was over. And that's not why the Oilers lost, and I'm picking examples from the Oilers. And, I think there was another play tonight when they said Kemper was actually going to the bench because he thought the Oilers were getting a penalty. And I think I can't remember the play, but I think they probably should have. So, like, all the players on the ice are like, yeah, that's a penalty. Refs are like, oh, no, play on. Like, it seems extra bad this year. I see it in other games. I was complaining about cross-checking on my old show 7 or 8 years ago, that it's going to get out of hand, and now it's getting out of hand.
Yep.
And they're not you don't know which cross-check is going to be enforced and which one isn't. But again, you're better off cross-checking a guy in the face than you are giving him a light tap on the back of the glove, and it bugs me. And I'm sorry for going off topic.
No. Don't be sorry. Someone asked me about the reffing again, like yesterday, and I just finally said to them, I'm like, look, I expect absolutely the worst called game every single hockey game I watch. I expect to be blown away by a stupid call at minimum once or twice per game. And guess what? In any game involving any team in the National Hockey League, that tends to happen. It's sad, but it's true. And I know Oilers fans will complain about this and that, and Oilers fans are doing it just as much as St. Louis Blues fans are doing it. They're doing it just as much as Anaheim Ducks fans are doing it because the reffing sucks. You can't rely on it. It's consistently bad. The reffing level is so low that I expect the worst from it. I don't know how to figure it out. All I know is it's dog every night. So it's okay to vent about it. I will never get mad at anybody for venting about it. It's just if you're saying that a loss is only attributed to officiating, I kind of like, okay.
Oh, no. I mean, the officiating has no bearing on how poorly the Oilers are playing in this series. Or quite frankly, the number of power plays that the Kings got is probably accurate, but the calls they got the power plays on, like again, Draisaitl just stood there and slashed Kopitar's feet out from under him.
Yeah.
Corey Perry blatantly tripped a guy, negating a 3-on-1 in game one. And the refs are like, "Oh, that's cool." And I'm trying to use these examples so it doesn't just seem like I'm only saying that they're getting the wrong end of calls. Like the Oilers have gotten away with probably 3, if not 4, what I would consider blatant penalties, but they've probably gotten 2 or 3 penalties where I've thought, why is that being called and the obvious stuff isn't? That's why I'm frustrated with that. It's around the league. I've watched a fair number of other games. Is that other game over, by the way?
Yeah, 2-1 Dallas in overtime. Mason Marchman.
He's good. I like him.
Okay,
Reid, you'll like this from our guy Swain Dog. First time Oilers have given up at least 6 goals in consecutive playoff games since April 16th and 17th, 1981 versus the Islanders.
Well, that makes sense. That was a second-round loss to the Islanders after they upset the Canadians in the first. Well, it didn't even happen at any other point in the 80s. That's crazy.
Well, they were good in the playoffs in the 80s. I can tell you that much. Okay, Reid, I'm going to read a couple texts, and I'm going to get your final thoughts heading into Game 2. This is Reid's Reid, brought to you by Edmonton Garrison Golf and Curling Club. Runner texting in. Runner says, LA isn't playing good hockey, you guys. Edmonton is playing terrible. LA isn't that good. Player position, make the easy plays. And Runner, the Oilers have simply not done that. Brandon,
I would disagree, though. LA is good. They have some really good players.
The Oilers, I'm just reading what Runner said. Yeah. Brandon texting in says, a million frustrating things, but to me the most troubling thing about tonight in terms of outlook for the next 2 to 5 games was the lack of fight. Game's over. Take a chunk of flesh for the next game. Knocking a helmet off, slashing guys in the shin pad. Laughable. How about drill a guy into the second row? Like, bring some pain somehow. They showed frustration when they should have showed determination. That's from Brandon. Chantel in Calgary. Chantel in Calgary says, I think we're simply seeing the product of a year that has not gone well all around, coupled with massive expectations, facing a run of timely injuries to almost every top player and a few years of fatigue, all compounding. Sometimes you just feel like there's too much to overcome, and you start to lose the fight in you, whether it's conscious or not. It just isn't looking like the year. Signed, Chantel in Calgary. Yeah, especially after these last two, Chantel in Calgary makes a good point. All right, Riedrich, if this team wants to turn its fortunes around and make it seem like it might still be the year, what has to happen heading into Friday?
I just want to respond quickly to that second text. I get it, try and inflict some pain, but LA's going to skate away from it. You know, and LA's not going to put themselves, they don't have to forecheck as hard. They don't have to put themselves in a position to get run. They're not going to give the Oilers anything, right? I realize the Podkolzin thing looked weird that he got kicked out of the game basically for 2 little slashes, but it's hard to do. I think that's a frustrated fan who would like to see an LA player carried off on a stretcher, but it's not going to change the result of the game. Well, like I said, the most hopeful thing is the next game starts 0-0. I think the coaching staff is going to be taxed with figuring out what to do on special teams. I still think that is job one. And then Usually I don't harp too much on line combinations because I think if a team is playing well, almost any combination can be effective. But I think you have to get Nugent Hopkins away from playing center. I would put him back with McDavid and Hyman. And I would put Draisaitl with Kane and maybe Perry and see if they can muck it up and play hard down low. I know a lot of people don't like him. Janmark's been okay.
Don't you talk bad about my boy.
And then, hopefully somebody wakes up on line 3, however that line is going to be deployed. I actually thought Klingberg had a decent game. So I think you come back with the same decor. Goaltending, I would put Pickard in. But again, it's spectacular. The Oilers could have had spectacular goaltending tonight and still lost.
Yeah.
Probably 3 or 4-2. That's the sad part. I would put Pickard in. I don't know what Knoblock is going to do. I think you think he's going to go back to Skinner. Tom, I'm not as sure about it.
No, I don't think he's going back to Skinner.
Oh, you don't? You think he's going Pickard? Okay, sorry.
I think so.
But again, they need more saves. Yes, they also need a better job in front of their goaltender. But again, it's 0-0. It'll be exciting to have a home game. The crowd is going to be there, especially early. So hopefully the Oilers can match the intensity of the crowd in the first 10 minutes on Friday.
Reid, I just want to float one more thing to you. When it does come to the Oilers, and maybe something that we can pick up on the Kings, and you talked about it a bit earlier, I think we can say soundly that we've identified that if you can get to the front of the net on Darcy Kemper, you're going to get a chance to score, and a good one. It's just a matter of being determined enough to do that. I think if they focus on getting to the net, that's where they could make all hell break loose in front of Kemper. I think that's something that they somehow, by fluke, by whatever happenstance, they've uncovered, is that if you get to the net around Kemper, you can create offense. Is that fair?
Yes, I would like to see. Look, if Kemper comes out and steals a game, I'll give him credit, but I haven't seen that caliber of goaltender in this series from him. I mean, nor from an Oilers goalie, obviously, but he's had better defense in front of him.
Yeah. Reid, it's bedtime. This was an excellent segment, as always. There's somebody killing a dog or a cat over here with their voice. I apologize to those. We're at Hudson's, Bourbon Street. It's been a great night, an absolutely great night. Reid, that was a great segment. Excellent edition of Edmonton Garrison Memorials Golf and Country and Curling Clubs. Reid's Reid. Reid, good night. I'll see you tomorrow, my friend.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Thanks, Hernan.
There you go. There's Reid Wilkins, host of the Reid Wilkins Show, from his home studio. And I am at Hudson's. It was a great night. Hernan, you were here for a bit. Big thank you to Steve and Adam. Lavella, who's my waitress. She's fantastic. Saw Amy, Colby. The entire staff here is great. Nice to be back. And if you're going, what the heck is going on? There's this one guy who sings 80s power ballads, and he's just wailing away again, and I apologize for that. So, Hernan, if we have any audio, we can get to that, or do you want to get to your player of the game?
Let's do player of the game, I guess.
Okay. I'll do player of the game. I'll do the read for you. The Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game, brought to you by Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He is community-driven and understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Go ahead, Nancito.
Yeah, this one's an easy one once again. I mean, this guy's an Oiler killer. He's up to, 13 goals in the last 3 years in the playoffs against the Oilers. Adrian Kempe was outstanding tonight. 2 goals, 2 assists, +1, 21-01 time on ice. 8 shots on net, Tom. 3 hits. He was outstanding. Number 9 for the Los Angeles Kings. Adrian Kempe is your Damon Bunting Player of the Game for the agency. Could have been a lot of guys. Kopitar was fantastic. Byfield was fantastic. But it's going to be Adrian Kempe.
Adrian Kempe, 2 more goals, like Hernan said tonight. He has been absolutely destroying Edmonton regular season, postseason. He adds 4 points. He gets the Player of the Game from Hernan, the Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. In 31 playoff games, 19 playoff games going into it, he had 12 goals and 10 assists, 22 points. Give him 14 goals, 12 assists, 26 points in 20 career playoff games against the Edmonton Oilers. He finds a way to absolutely shred them. All right, we're going to keep reading some text, 780-218-9999. We've got a few more minutes to go here. Do we have any more audio that we should run, or what do you think before I get to some more texts?
I got Knoblock.
Okay, let me read like 2 texts. We'll go to Knoblock. We'll chew on what he said, and then we'll get to some final thoughts from our listeners and our viewers. Edmonton Rob says, how can you expect chemistry when the 3 new guys haven't played much? Kane just came back, and the lines seem shuffled. They need time, don't they? People are hoping for the best. This one, first text ever. Thank you. Welcome to EST. Says, love the show. 22 Oilers down 3-2 in series. Game 6 in LA. Oilers win in 7. 23 Oilers down 2-1 in series. Go down 3-0 in Game 4 versus LA. Win game, win series. 24 Oilers down 3-2 versus Vancouver. Make Game 6 goalie change. Win series in 7 on road. 24 down 0-3 and final. Game 7, 25. Not over. All right. A positive text there. I appreciate that. C-Max from the south side says, why are we such Debbie Downers here, boys? Lean on the old adage. Series hasn't started until a team loses a game in its own barn. Yes, Reid was talking about that as well. It's just the way they've been losing these 2 games and how there seems to be an answer for everything Edmonton tries to do from LA, which is very frustrating. I think that's what's got a lot of people down. And then you look at the score at the end of the night, too. You see 6 for the other guys, 5 the other night for the Oil, 2 today, and you're just like, boy, that escalated quickly. Pizza Boy says, guys, are they scheduled to practice tomorrow? Do they get a much-deserved day off? I will tell you right now, Pizza Boy, that the Edmonton Oilers will not be skating. They will have a media availability at the team hotel, and then they're going to fly home. So there's no practice tomorrow. So they're staying the night. Knoblock will speak at the hotel, and then they fly home. And then they'll be back on the ice for morning skate. Probably an optional on Friday here in Edmonton at Rogers Place. And that's probably what the schedule will look like. That text that I read came from Edmonton Oilers PR just a few moments ago. All right, Hernan.
Here's Coach Knoblock following tonight's 6-2 loss. Tonight's game.
In short, 12 goals in 2 games against. How important is it for you guys to shore up your work in your defensive zone?
No, absolutely. You don't have much chance of winning if you're giving up, maybe 3 goals. Ideally, it's maybe 2 or less, and especially against a team that's very good defensively. Don't give up many goals against. Just makes our job a lot harder. And for the first 40 minutes, I thought checked pretty well up until except for the special teams, obviously the penalty kill. Giving up 2 the other night, 3 tonight. That's makes it very difficult for us to outscore that.
Yeah, the history of this series was your special teams were better than theirs, and that's been flipped upside down in this series. Is that something you think you can fix in time?
Well, absolutely. If we have to have an opportunity to turn this thing around, it's special teams. But you look at the goals against on the. There's certain things that we can do better. Not that we have to change our system, but we just need to elevate some of our play when we're mostly killing.
You kind of touched on it a little bit at the end there, but why do you think you've been having so much trouble keeping the puck out of your net, if you've been able to pinpoint a reason or two?
Well, the last 2 games, 5 on the special teams. That's obviously a big part of it. The other one is just mistakes. I don't necessarily see us LA making plays to beat us. I see just mistakes, gift wrapping opportunities. That's different. If they make a heck of a play and they're able to score goals, you tip your hat and say, there's not much we can do. But I don't think I've seen very much of that. I think it's been mostly gaffes that have cost us.
What went into pulling Skinner, and especially in the time, the kind of the opportunity that you did?
I think it's just a break for Skins. We're down 5-2. Give him a break. but also sometimes when the goalies change, there's a little boost to our team to, maybe have an immediate spark. It's that's a stretch, it's a long shot, but that moment after the TV timeout, give it a try.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, and by I guess, I mean, I don't think so. There's no spark at 5-2 when you're getting absolutely dummied. Your guys let in 5 goals on 28 shots at that point. You put it in the other guy, what was there, 11 minutes left at that point?
Yeah.
Whatever. Sure.
It's going to be, I'll be floored if it's Skinner in game 3.
I don't think it will be. He's not doing anything. You just got to change. You're already at the point, unfortunately, where you have to try every tool in the tool belt to get this thing to turn around. And that is starting Calvin Pickard. That is mixing up the lines. That is getting Ryan Nugent-Hopkins away from center on the wing. And maybe Draisaitl and Kane can find chemistry. I know it's like bashing a square peg into a round hole, but man, like it ain't working. You got Trent Frederick playing on one leg. Anything, man. Anything at this point.
That's the big one, Tom, is Trent Frederick. Does Jeff Skinner draw in for game 3? Maybe for Frederick? Because let's be honest, man, he hasn't brought a lot. He can't hit. He's not physical. He's not mucking it up. All the things we saw in those 7 minutes in LA during the regular season, Tom, we haven't seen any in 2 games. So, and it's it's unfair because he's obviously not 100%. He wants to play, wants to show why the Oilers went out and acquired him. I understand that, but right now, Tom, he's not bringing you anything, and he's not alone. But I think you give him a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt because he can't get around like he probably usually does or wants to, right?
Yeah. Trent Frederick tonight, that is a good point, Hernan. Trent Frederick tonight, 10-12 time on ice, -1. He had 1 block shot, 5 hits, 1 giveaway. He's trying. He's doing whatever he can on one leg. I loved and still love the idea of this trade.
Yeah.
The fact that they went out and listen, I get Reid and not wanting to dive into the offseason stuff, but I think it's very apparent that this management team has no problem going out and acquiring damaged goods. And Trent Frederick is a great example of that. He is injured. He's been injured this entire time. They traded for him when he was injured, clearly. They went and picked up Alec Regula. Nobody knows what Alec Regula is as an NHL defenseman. He's played like 22 games. They went and signed John Klingberg, who was somehow one of their best defensemen tonight after not playing in weeks because he's been hurt. And he's coming off a double hip surgery. Like, you're going out there and you're getting guys who are hurt. I know I mock signing obscure European players because I've seen it before with this organization under different management regimes, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Your stocks are bare in the farm. This is not good. I know you're still in a series. You're down 2 games. You want to get back, and they just might. They have great players. They really do, who are not playing great. That's for sure. But like Trent Frederick is a perfect example. You went out and you traded for an injured guy.
Yeah.
Your best defenseman tonight was an injured guy. Your best defenseman on this team is now an injured guy who tried to play 2 weeks ago, only to injure himself even more. It's not good. It's not good. We got some final text to get to here. It's been a long post-game show. This is what we do here at EST. That's why we are Edmonton's clear choice for Edmonton sports. Big Uke texting in 780-218-9999 says, a million frustrating things, but to me, the most troubling thing about tonight in terms of outlook for the next 2 weeks, lack of fight. Game's over. Take a chunk of flesh. Oh, was that Big Uke or was that someone else? No, Big Uke says this. Sorry, that was the text program that's kind of scrambled. Big Uke says, is this series over? No. Do the Oilers have a hell of a lot of work to do? Yes. But I'm riding with the, quote, it's not a series till you lose at home, unquote. Lots of series. Home game Friday. Let's go. Oilers. Reno texting in says, Oilers lack of any kind of chemistry. They are not intense at all and are giving up the corner battles. They are not playing for each other like they did last year. This one out of Calgary says, Connor McDavid will not resign unless Oilers fire Bowman, Nicholson, Klingberg. Okay, first of all, I'll just get to this one because there's two texts here from this one out of Calgary. Says, power forwards above age 33 are often like Milan Lucic. Okay, that's a fair statement. Also, text comes and says, on the winning goal, Wallman could easily have shut the play down if he controlled the gap, pushed the puck carried to the boards, or put him on the ice. This text from this one out of Calgary, McDavid will not resign unless Oilers fire Bowman, Nicholson, Klingberg, means Bouchard can go. No, I disagree with a lot of this text. McDavid is not going to change his mind because of one playoff series, even if they lose in the first round. Firing Bowman isn't going to happen as much as a lot of people probably want it to, and people are clamoring for Kenny Holland back. Listen, I said it as soon as they hired Bowman. I didn't like it out of principle. I didn't know what kind of players he'd go out and get, how him and Jeff Jackson would work together. So I'm not going to defend Bowman's signing and hiring. But firing Bowman now isn't going to do anything. Nicholson, Bobby Nix, has had nothing to do with the team day-to-day forever. So that's irrelevant. I don't even know if he hasn't even been around for 6 months. Klingberg does not mean Bouchard can go. John Klingberg is done. If he plays more NHL hockey after this year, I will be surprised and I will applaud him because he does not look like he has much left in the tank in the NHL. Maybe he goes back to Sweden. I don't know. And if he does play in the NHL, I'm very happy for him to extend his career. Bouchard can go. Bouchard has had a horrible defensive season. But to just fire, I was thinking about this during the game too, Hernan. And I said to myself, I'm like, short term, all right, the Oilers have a lot of work to do. They're in a hole. It does not look good at all, but things can change at home. I understand and recognize and respect that. But I started thinking about Bouchard and the contract and all the stuff we're going to have to talk about in the offseason, regardless of when they lose, if they lose, whatever happens. You can't just get rid of guys because you're mad about them about 1 year after you drafted and developed. You can't just get rid of them and start from scratch again. And as much as Bouchard frustrates pretty much everybody defensively, he has an elite level offensive game. He has proven in years past that he can play good defensive hockey. You're not just firing him into the sun. You know what happened after 2017? They fired Eberle into the sun, sent him to the Islanders. You got Ryan Strome. That devolved quickly. They got rid of Pat Maroon early in the next year. They got rid of Benoit Pouliot. They got rid of a bunch of other veteran NHL players. Relied on younger guys, didn't replace them with veteran, younger, sharp NHL players, and they missed the playoffs the next 2 years. If you're just going to fire guys off after one postseason and one bad season into the sun because you're mad at them, that's misguided. Bouchard can bounce back. Bouchard probably will bounce back. I hope for the sake of oil country, it is with the Edmonton Oilers. But there legitimately are some out there that want him gone. And they get mad about the number he's going to get paid. He's probably going to ask for $11 million. He'll probably get more than $9 million. But to just disregard these guys and say, oh, you're not good enough, you piss me off, this, that, is ridiculous. That's all I'm going to say about that, Hernan.
I listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like, listen, Bouchard, it's a fascinating player. I
hated his game all year.
Off season, I mean, but that's the thing, right? Like the Oilers want to go out and get this guy and this guy. They don't live in reality, and I don't have time for O'Connor's going to Toronto. Like, who cares? Why are we even talking about that right now? It's 2-0 in the series. Did LA win the series tonight?
No, they did not.
Okay,
but these are the things that come up, and these are the things that Oilers fans do discuss. And it's just like, at some point, you got to be like, all right, you guys, can we shake our heads and clear our minds and be rational about this? Please. Anyway, this is just me venting.
Stanley Cup playoffs every year. and there's going to be disappointment, and every other team goes through it. Teams that don't make the playoffs, teams that make the playoffs. Boston had the best regular season 2 years ago, and we're out in the first round. Stuff happens. The Oilers are not going to be every year in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and because of that doesn't mean you're going to be trading away every single player that you're mad at. Do the Oilers need upgrades? 100%. Every team does. Is goaltending an issue? Yeah. Do they have to look at it? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Do they have to look at Evan Bouchard and be practical and say, well, what can we really pay this guy? Who is this guy? Yes, of course. Those are all valid questions. But they just get rid of everybody because you're mad because they're down 2-0 to the LA Kings? Come on, people.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for summarizing that. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I've seen a lot of those texts, and to that texter, I'm sorry, I can't remember who texted in, but you texted it among many, and I just wanted to hit on it because I saw it. I'm like, come on, guys. You can't just fire these guys away and be like, oh, you suck. You had a bad playoff, one bad season. You're done. I know it's critical. I know they're in a cup window and all that stuff, but there's ebbs and flows to it. You know who had that wisdom? Ken Holland. Sorry, that's salt. That's salt. Okay. What we do know is the Oilers have been outplayed by the LA Kings in almost every facet of both games. What we do know is that if you get to the net, you can score on Darcy Kemper. What we do know is you can't trust the Oilers' goaltending or defense right now. What we do know is the Oilers need some energy and momentum in Game 3 at home to switch this series and flip it on its head and get back into it. It's been an awful, awful 2 games for the Oil in terms of results and the process. We'll see if they can clean it up. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who showed up here at Hudson's Bourbon Street. Big thank you to Steve and Adam and the entire staff here. They're phenomenal. Kobe, tremendous. Thank you guys so very, very much. We're going to be at the Canadian Ice House for Game 3 in Ice District. Maybe get some good juju going. And the Oilers cut the lead in half in this series to 2-1. A huge thank you to everybody who stayed up and listened and watched tonight on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, EvertonSportsTalk.com's audio player, of course on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Subscribe. We're trying to get to 12,000 here. We're on the march. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome, whether the Oilers win or lose, or whether you agree or disagree. It's a great conversation. That's why we do this, and we love it. So for Hernan, Salas, Reid Wilkins, Matt Cassian, and Dustin Nielsen, I'm Tom Gazzola saying have yourselves a great night. Be ready for Friday, Game 3. The Oilers looking to get back in this series. They lose 6-2 tonight. They are behind in the series, 2-0 to the LA Kings. Lots to discuss tomorrow starting at 6 a.m. with Dusty and Eric on the Nielsen Show with YouTube, Trev. Till then, have yourselves a great night, everyone. Get home safe if you're out. Ciao for now.